In this example, we're going to work on another word problem where now it's going to talk about distance, and we're going to actually be using the quadratic formula. So the word problem stated, a newspaper delivered person is tossing the newspaper with the speed of 20 feet per second on the bike. The newspaper is tossed 3 feet above the ground and can be modeled by h of t equals negative 3t squared plus 3. The distance of the newspaper traveled is modeled d equals 20t. So this word problem is basically going to be asking for distance traveled. And then we're going to be using this function here. Now h of t can be modeled as negative 3t squared. Since there's no t, I'll put 0t plus 3 because we need a, b, and c. So if there's no t, then basically it's just 0t, or if there's no x, it's 0x. So here's my ABC. Now we're just going to plug into the quadratic formula. Since we're using t, I'm going to use t instead of x. So t equals my negative b, which is 0, plus or minus 0 squared, minus 4 times my a, which is negative 3, and then my c, which is also 3. Inside the square root over 2 times negative 3. Alright, so filling it out is going to be 0 plus or minus 0. Negative 4 times negative 3 is 12 times 3 is 36. So plus 36 inside the square root over 2 times negative 3. So 2 times 3, which is negative 6. And then 0 plus 36 is just plus or minus square root of 36 over negative 6. So here, the square root of 36 is simply 6 over negative 6. Now I'm going to have two fractions, so it's going to be positive 6 over negative 6 and negative 6 over negative 6. So here this will be negative 1, so my t equals negative 1, and then here t equals positive 1. Now, in physics, you're going to be working with two variables, just like in algebra 2, but the only thing you have to focus on is the positive number. The reason we only focus on the positive number is because time increases, so they are non-negative numbers. So we're not going to worry about our answer that are negative. So in terms of physics, when you're trying to determine the time and distance, we're going to be working with positive number for time. So I'm going to make some room. So we know that t is equal to 1. So I'm going to be using this formula. D equals 20 times t, and our value for t will be 1, so 20 times 1. So the distance traveled was 20 times 1, 20 feet. So that's the distance that was traveled of the newspaper. So that would be my final answer, 20 feet. So in this example, we use the quadratic formula, but make sure that it's in order. And if you didn't have a value for t or a value for x, then you put 0x or 0t. If you didn't have the value for the constant number, then you put plus 0. So that way you fill in and make sure you get your values for ABC. Plug it in, do the same process, and then when it asks you for distance, use the positive answer and then plug it in.